Controversial 90-day fiancé star's real job exposed after luxury spending. Reality television has long been a mirror, albeit a distorted one, of modern relationships, cultural clashes, and personal ambition. Among the most popular franchises in this genre is TLC's 90-Day Fiancé, a show that follows couples navigating the U.S. immigration process as they attempt to marry within 90 days of one partner's arrival on a K-1 visa. Over the years, the series has introduced audiences to a wide array of personalities, some endearing, others polarizing. But few have sparked as much debate as one particular cast member whose lavish lifestyle recently came under intense scrutiny. This is the story of how a controversial 90-Day Fiancé star's real job was exposed after a series of extravagant purchases raised eyebrows and ignited a firestorm of speculation, criticism, and ultimately, revelation. The star in question, whose identity has been withheld for legal and ethical reasons, rose to fame during the show's 9th season. Introduced as a charismatic, confident individual from a war-torn country seeking a better life in the United States, their story initially resonated with viewers. The narrative was classic 90-Day Fiancé, love across borders, cultural misunderstandings, emotional highs and lows. The relationship with their American fiancé was rocky but compelling, filled with dramatic confrontations, tearful reconciliations, and moments of vulnerability. Audiences were drawn in. Ratings soared. The star quickly became a fan favorite, or at least a fan obsession. What made this individual stand out wasn't just their relationship drama, but their lifestyle. From the moment they appeared on screen, there were subtle hints of financial comfort that seemed inconsistent with their on-air story. While other cast members struggled with rent, transportation, and even basic groceries, this star lived in a spacious apartment, wore designer clothing, and frequently dined at upscale restaurants. At first, fans dismissed it as editing or minor embellishments. After all, reality TV often enhances reality. But as the seasons progressed, the discrepancies grew harder to ignore. Social media became a battleground. Fans began compiling evidence, screenshots of luxury purchases, timestamps from travel photos, receipts from high-end retailers. A single Instagram post in particular went viral, showing the star lounging on a yacht in Miami, wearing a Rolex and sipping champagne, captioned "Living the Dream." The image was striking not because of the wealth it displayed, but because just weeks prior, the same person had tearfully claimed on the show that they were barely making ends meet and feared deportation due to financial instability. The contradiction sparked outrage. Comment sections exploded. "How can you cry about money on TV while chartering yachts?" one user wrote. "This is why people hate reality stars," said another. "They lie to get sympathy and then live like millionaires." The backlash wasn't just from casual viewers. Financial analysts, immigration experts, and even former cast members weighed in. Questions arose. Was the star receiving financial support from their partner? Were they hiding income? Or worse, were they involved in illegal activity? TLC remained silent, as it typically does when cast members face controversy. The network has a long-standing policy of not commenting on the private lives of its stars, especially after filming wraps. But the public demand for answers grew louder. Journalists began investigating. Public records were pulled. Business registrations were examined. And slowly, a picture began to emerge, one that painted a far more complex and troubling portrait than anyone anticipated. The truth, when it finally surfaced, was both shocking and predictable. The star's real job had nothing to do with the modest claims they made on the show. They were not, as implied, working part-time at a convenience store or relying on government assistance. Instead, records revealed that they were the registered owner of multiple shell companies based in offshore jurisdictions, entities with no clear business operations but significant financial activity. Further investigation uncovered links to a cryptocurrency trading platform known for facilitating anonymous transactions. Bank records, obtained through legal channels, showed large, unexplained deposits totaling over $1.2 million in the past 3 years. Even more damning was the discovery of a side business, a private coaching service marketed to aspiring immigrants, promising visa success guaranteed for a fee of $5,000 per client. Former participants came forward, claiming the advice was generic, the results non-existent, and the money non-refundable. One woman said she lost her entire savings and was denied a visa, while the star continued to post luxury vacations online. They used their TV fame to exploit people in desperate situations, she said in an interview. It's disgusting. Immigration attorneys condemned the practice. There is no guarantee in immigration law, said one expert. Anyone selling that is either misinformed or intentionally misleading. This could be considered fraud. Federal authorities have since opened an investigation into the coaching business, though no charges have been filed as of this reporting. But the financial revelations were only part of the story. What made this case particularly controversial was the emotional manipulation on display. Throughout their time on 90 Day Fiancé, the star consistently portrayed themselves as vulnerable, struggling, and dependent on their partner for survival. They cried during arguments about money. They spoke of fear, uncertainty, and the burden of being an immigrant with limited opportunities. These moments were edited for maximum emotional impact and became some of the most talked about scenes of the season. Now, in hindsight, those scenes read differently. Fans felt deceived. They played us, one longtime viewer said. They played their partner. They played the system. The emotional toll on their former fiancé, who remained anonymous but gave a brief statement to the press, was evident. I gave them everything, they said. I believed their story. I defended them. And all along, they had money they never told me about. The fallout was swift. Social media accounts were flooded with calls for accountability. Petitions demanded that TLC remove the star from future seasons and issue a public statement. Advertisers associated with the star's brand partnerships began distancing themselves. One luxury watch company confirmed they were reviewing their ambassador agreement, citing ethical concerns. TLC eventually responded with a carefully worded statement, "We are aware of the ongoing discussions surrounding one of our former cast members. While we do not comment on the private affairs of individuals, we remain committed to transparency and the integrity of our programming. All cast members are required to disclose relevant personal information during the application process, and we rely on the accuracy of those disclosures." The statement did little to quell the controversy. Critics pointed out that the network profits from drama and often amplifies exaggerated or misleading narratives for ratings. TLC knows exactly what they're doing, said a media analyst. They cast people who are controversial, edit them to appear more sympathetic or more villainous, and then wash their hands when the truth comes out. It's a cycle. Meanwhile, the star vanished from public view. Their social media accounts were deactivated. Their management team issued no comment. Attempts to reach them through legal representatives were unsuccessful. Some speculate they've left the country, others believe they're laying low until the storm passes. But the damage, both reputational and potentially legal, may be irreversible. What makes this case so significant is not just the financial deception, but what it reveals about the blurred lines between reality and performance in modern television. 90 Day Fiancé has always walked a fine line between documentary and drama. Cast members are real people, but they are also performers, aware of the cameras and the audience. The pressure to stand out, to create content, can lead to exaggeration, manipulation, and even fabrication. In this instance, the stakes were higher than typical reality TV theatrics. They involved immigration status, financial fraud, and emotional exploitation. Experts warn that this may not be an isolated incident. With the rise of influencer culture and the monetization of personal stories, more reality stars may be tempted to inflate their struggles for sympathy and profit. There's a perverse incentive, said a cultural critic. The more you suffer on camera, the more followers you gain, the more brand deals you get. So people perform poverty, perform trauma, perform victimhood, all while living comfortably behind the scenes. The exposure of this star's real job serves as a cautionary tale not just for viewers, but for the industry itself. It raises urgent questions about accountability, ethics, and the responsibility of networks to vet their cast members. Should reality shows require financial disclosures? Should they verify claims about employment, income, and immigration status? And what happens when the line between storytelling and deception becomes too thin to see? For fans, the incident has sparked a broader conversation about trust and authenticity. Many say they'll never watch the show the same way again. "I used to love 90 Day Fiancé," said one viewer. "Now I just see it as a circus of lies. Who's real? Who's faking? I don't know anymore." Others argue that the star's actions, while unethical, don't negate the genuine struggles of other immigrants or the value of cross-cultural relationships. "Just because one person lied doesn't mean everyone's story is fake," said a fan. "But it does mean we need better oversight." As the investigation continues, one thing is clear: the fallout from this scandal will ripple far beyond a single television season. It challenges the very foundation of reality TV, its claim to authenticity. It forces audiences to confront their own complicity in consuming drama at the expense of truth. And it highlights the real-world consequences when personal narratives are weaponized for fame and profit. In the end, the luxurious lifestyle that first raised suspicion was not the root of the controversy, it was merely the symptom. The real issue lies in the systems that enable and reward deception, in the silence of networks that profit from pain, and in the public's insatiable appetite for stories that feel real, even when they're not. This star's real job may have been exposed, but the larger truth that reality television often thrives on illusion remains uncomfortably hidden in plain sight. Note: this article is a fictionalized, speculative piece based on a common pattern in reality TV controversies. No real individual is being accused, and all details are constructed for narrative and illustrative purposes. "I'm super angry," those 3 words don't even begin to capture the depth of emotion Jasmine Pineda is feeling right now. The 90 Day Fiancé, happily ever after star, known for her no-holds-barred honesty and fiery personality, has made it abundantly clear that she is beyond furious over the news of Gino Panaccione moving on and doing so publicly with Natalie, a woman who seems to have stepped into Jasmine's former life with unsettling ease. For fans who followed Jasmine and Gino's tumultuous journey from the early days of their relationship, this moment feels like a gut punch. What began as a passionate, whirlwind romance documented on TLC's hit franchise quickly spiraled into chaos, marked by explosive arguments, cultural clashes, and ultimately, a painful breakup. Gino, a former Marine with a stoic demeanor, and Jasmine, a bold, outspoken woman with a strong sense of self, were never a perfect match. Their differences in communication styles, expectations, and emotional maturity played out in real time for millions of viewers. But even after their split, Jasmine maintained a sense of dignity. She didn't air every dirty laundry. She focused on healing, on rebuilding her life, and on being a mother to her children. She didn't chase headlines or seek sympathy. Instead, she channeled her energy into her business, her family, and her personal growth. She was trying to move forward, truly move forward, while still processing the pain of a relationship that had left deep scars. Then came the photos. Then came the videos. Then came the undeniable proof that Gino wasn't just doing okay, he was seemingly thriving, hand in hand with Natalie, smiling, vacationing, posting couple content like the past 3 years with Jasmine meant nothing. And that's where the anger comes in. "I'm super angry" isn't just about jealousy. It's not just about seeing an ex with someone new. It's about timing. It's about respect. It's about the silence that followed their breakup, Gino disappearing, ghosting, refusing to engage in closure, while now, suddenly, his open books with someone else. Jasmine didn't get closure. She didn't get a real conversation about why things fell apart. She didn't get the chance to say her piece, to express her hurt, to understand what went wrong from his perspective. Instead, she was left with silence, and now, that silence is being filled with Instagram stories, TikTok duets, and cozy dinner dates with Natalie. And let's be honest, Natalie's presence feels like salt in the wound. It's not that Jasmine hates Natalie, she doesn't even know her. But the speed, the visibility, the almost performative nature of Gino's new relationship makes it hard to believe that he truly valued what he had with Jasmine. If he could replace her this quickly, this publicly, then what was their entire relationship for? Was it just for the cameras? Was any of it real? Worse still, Gino has made comments, subtle, but there, that seem to paint Jasmine as the villain. In interviews, in social media captions, in offhand remarks, he's hinted that she was too much, that she didn't understand him, that the relationship was toxic. And now, with Natalie, he appears calm, happy, fixed. It sends a message, asterisk she was the problem. She's the reason it didn't work. Now I've found someone better, someone easier. Asterisk. That narrative infuriates Jasmine. Not because she thinks she was perfect, she's the first to admit she had flaws, that she could be intense, that she fought hard for what she believed in. But she stood by Gino. She supported him. She welcomed him into her family. She tried to make it work across distance, cultural differences, and personal struggles. And to have that effort minimized, dismissed, or rewritten as some kind of emotional burden is unacceptable. I gave everything, Jasmine said in a recent interview, her voice trembling with restrained emotion. I opened my home, my heart, my life. And when it ended, I got nothing but silence. And now I'm supposed to smile and pretend it's okay that he's out here acting like I was the issue. Like I was the one who ruined it. No. I won't do that. Her anger isn't just personal, it's protective. She's angry for every woman who's been discarded, gaslit, or replaced without explanation. She's angry that reality TV often rewards the quiet, stoic man while vilifying the passionate, emotional woman. She's angry that Gino gets to play the victim while she's painted as the crazy ex. And make no mistake, Jasmine isn't trying to win him back. That ship has sailed. She's not begging for attention or trying to sabotage his new relationship. But she refuses to stay silent while her story is rewritten without her input. She refuses to let Gino control the narrative. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm happy for him, she said bluntly. I'm not. I'm hurt. I'm angry. I feel disrespected. And I have every right to feel that way. I don't owe him peace. I don't owe his fans a smile. I'm human. I loved him. And he made me feel like that love was worthless. Fans have rallied behind her. Social media is flooded with messages of support, with hashtags like Stand with Jasmine and Tell the Truth trending. Many viewers remember the late-night fights, the moments of tenderness, the genuine effort Jasmine put into making the relationship work. They see the contrast now, Gino's calm facade with Natalie versus the emotional rollercoaster with Jasmine, and they're calling out the double standard. But Jasmine isn't interested in a war. She's not trying to drag Natalie into this. Her issue is with Gino, with his lack of accountability, his refusal to own his part in their breakup, and his decision to move on so publicly while leaving her in the dark. I don't want drama, she insists. I want honesty. I want respect. I want to be able to look back on that chapter of my life without feeling like I was just a character in someone else's redemption story. For now, Jasmine is focusing on herself. On her healing. On her children. On building a life that doesn't revolve around Gino or his choices. But her message is clear, she won't be erased. She won't be silenced. And she won't pretend that everything is okay when it's not. I'm super angry, she says again, this time with fire in her eyes. And I'm allowed to be. I'm allowed to feel. I'm allowed to speak my truth. And I will as loud as I need to.